What's up guys, TSI DoMiNaToR here again, and today we're continuing our playthrough of the Discovery Tour of Assassin's Creed Origins. We're not going to mess about, we're just going to jump straight back into it. Now, I think the last episode we did finish 10 of the 72 tours available, but we didn't do any in certain categories. I think we skipped out on I know for a fact we skipped the Romans category. I think we might have done... Oh, give me a break. Leave me be. Right. So yeah, we're just going to jump straight back into it and pick up where we left off. And here, the Persians who ruled Egypt in the late period met their match with Alexander the Great, who was welcomed as a saviour and proclaimed pharaoh. As a pregnancy test, a fine thread would be tied around the woman's neck. The thread would break as the woman's neck got thicker because of the enlargement of the thyroid glands due to hormonal changes. So it's basically a leash. Stunned and languished, Plutarch claimed that Cleopatra could speak over 9 languages. Fuck, she's got 8 more than I do. Tutankhamun's dagger has a blade made of iron from a meteorite. True or false? I'm going to say false. So yeah, we started off. Right, so how many passports? Oh, we missed it on we entirely skipped the Egypt category too. But we're going to start with the Romans. And actually, if we're lucky, yeah, we could end up all the Green Mountains. Yeah, we'll make a start and do the Romans tours first. We can just get them out of the way. Pharos the Younger is a huge fan of the Alexandrian Pleiad, a group of poets from 300 BCE. Yeah, I think we chose this Roman soldier skin just because it was the easiest one. The one that looked the most normal. Should take about 3 minutes. Well, let's get started.
Welcome to Roman military.
Equip.
The strength of Rome was directly dependent on its military supremacy and fundamentally militaristic society. Regular citizens, comprised mostly of farmers and herders, joined to protect their land and families. In return for their service, members of this civic army were allowed to vote. Trained to be highly disciplined and obedient to superior officers, citizen soldiers developed a deep sense of loyalty to their city.
And that's Skyfall's Tiberius' triumph in preparation of a sacrifice. And that looks like some kind of jar or something. Foot soldiers.
The quality of the armor of a Roman foot soldier was intrinsically linked to his social status and wealth. Chainmail was the most commonly used type of armor. Scale armor, made famous in today's media, came into use after Caesar's time. Foot soldiers carried large and oblong shields, while the cavalry used smaller ones of Greek origin. Soldiers were expected to carry their own kit, including the tools required for the construction of forts and tents.
Relief base of the altar of Domitius. Say Domitius. Ahenobarbus. A Eudatic conducting a census. Okay. Oh, big fucker. Legionnaires
Roman
equipment.
soldiers used the same types of weapons. The stomach and face were the most targeted parts of the body.
No wonder.
As
They left
such,
him
a
exposed.
legionary was equipped with two close combat weapons, a dagger and a short sword, known as a gladius. One of the most ingenious Roman weapons was the javelin. Its pyramid-shaped tip pierced the body, while its iron shank was designed to break upon impact, stopping the enemy from throwing it back.
That's a marching Roman soldier with all of his gear. Jesus. Imagine being forced to carry all that shit. I think my back would break. Adopting the enemy's technology.
The Romans regularly transformed enemy technologies to add to their own formidable arsenal. After capturing a Carthaginian vessel, the Romans adopted its better features and constructed a superior fleet of ships. Adapting heavy artillery designs from Greek models aided the Romans in building catapults and ballistae. The latter became an iconic symbol of Roman warfare.
Ballistae. Aye, because a ballista is fucking very iconic. You think of like siege warfare, you definitely think of a ballista. And there's the catapults. But they don't have a... Do they have a ballista kicking about here? So that's just catapults then. Quite like to see if there is a ballista kicking about. No, that's a catapult. No, it doesn't look like there will be one here. The forts of Cyrenaica. Learn about the fortifications discovered in Cyrenaica and their purpose. Another 3 minutes, fair enough. Memphis was the longest lasting major metropolis in the history of the world, being relevant for over 3,000 years. Yeah, that is quite the tenure. Jesus Christ. Statuesque. According to ancient texts, statues of gods could nod and talk and even served as judges in courts of law. Seriously? The forts of Cyrenaica.
Welcome to the forts of Cyrenaica.
Cyrenaica, I see. Ancient defenders.
Cyrenaica was a Libyan region under Roman control, gifted to Rome by one of Cleopatra's ancestors. The remains and foundations of ancient fortifications were discovered in the 19th century in the southwest of Cyrenaica, as well as a Roman garrison dating back to the 1st century CE. Evidence shows that these forts were of Libyan origin, rebuilt and modified by Roman engineers when Cyrenaica was part of the empire.
Okay. Oh, behind the scenes.
Stone was the most commonly used material to build forts in Egypt and Cyrenaica. Though no real proof of a fortress similar to the one before you has been uncovered in that region, the team chose to add it as a worthy and awe-inspiring end-of-game challenge for the player.
Okay, so they wanted to be a dick and give us a good challenge when we got to the end of the game. Because obviously at the end of the game, since it's an RPG, you should have good stuff. Another behind the scenes, protecting the main route.
The forts of Cyrenaica were intended to prevent invaders from gaining access to the main route that led to the country's 5 most important cities. These forts were built close to coastal plains and deserts for added defense. 3 of these cities were recreated by the team: Balagrae, Apollonia, and Cyrene.
Apollonia and Cyrene.
Had it existed, the fort before you would have protected the road leading to Balagrae.
Okay. This last one is a behind the scenes, I swear to God. Oh, there's a ballista there. Oh no, that's just a crossbow. Close enough. Roman military presence.
Other than reference to an attack around 404 CE and a military reorganization by Emperor Justinian during the 6th century CE, we still know little of the Roman military presence in Cyrenaica.
was a pretty short one. Roman aqueducts. Learn about the aqueducts and water management in Cyrenaica. Yeah, it said Cyrenaica again. If you spot a boat with a driver sat in front and them sail you across the water, I will decide what I will do, okay? Learn about the aqueducts and water management in Cyrenaica.
Welcome to Roman aqueducts. Water management was taken seriously by the Romans. Cyrenaica benefited greatly from Roman administration with the construction of aqueducts and canals. The source of water varied depending on the location. Many aqueducts were built at the foot of the mountains, offering greater flow from the melting snow.
Greater flow from the melting snow, and that's the Pont de Gard Aqueduct.
The ability to transport water over a greater distance increased agricultural production. Some aqueducts were reported to be over 7 kilometers in length. Where the Greeks of Libya originally focused mainly on olive trees and figs, which required less water, the advent of Roman aqueducts allowed for a far greater crop diversity. Every farm's water use was carefully scheduled.
Okay, what's that picture? Around Cairo 1, view of the aqueduct situated near Old Cairo by Edme Francois Jomard. Okay. What's next? Horsey. Yeah. Yeah. Too lazy to run the entire way. Advanced construction techniques.
The engineering methods used to create aqueducts were constantly reviewed, with a clear focus on exploiting the local environment. Materials, water usage, cleaning regulations, and a deep understanding of how to exploit gravity itself were all important concerns. Several fortresses were built to protect the aqueducts, basins, and
and this is a set of Roman leveling tools. Kind of looks like the spirit levels you get nowadays. So that's what they used to make sure that everything was like the stone was leveled when building aqueducts, which I will admit are marvels of construction. I am impressed. Bringing water to the city.
Additional water was collected with wells and cisterns, but aqueducts were the main supply of fresh water. The water was distributed based on the collective needs of the city before the private needs of an individual.
Needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Roman aqueduct of Segovia in the 20th century. Cleaning the streets.
Almost all aqueducts ended in a fountain where the water circulated to clean the streets and supply bathhouses and latrines, thus improving the cleanliness of Cyrenaica's cities.
Okay. Whoa. Thanks, horse. Just about kill me, why don't you? Right, 2 more and we'll be done with the Romans. excuse me, I had to yawn. Persians, well, yeah, blah 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 blah. Although future historians would describe Cleopatra as a sexual predator, or worse, when she met Julius Caesar, she likely had no sexual experience. Did that say harlot queen? Right, what have we got? Roman forts. Number of stations 4. Region Marmarica. Learn about the structure and operation of Roman forts. Should take about 3 minutes.
Roman fort. The size of a Roman military camp, known as a castrum, varied significantly depending on how many soldiers it needed to accommodate. However, they all shared common characteristics in design and construction, such as this fort before you, located in Cape Chersonesos.
Chersonesos? What the fuck? Fortifications.
Rectangular in shape, the forts were heavily fortified by ramparts and a ditch system. The walls were reinforced with parapets, essentially an extension at the roofline which allowed a protective barrier for patrolling soldiers. Depending on the availability of materials, some forts were built with stone, timbers, stacked turf, and particularly in the eastern part of the empire, baked brick.
Okay. Got to give the Romans credit, they definitely were a good army.
Access doors on all 4 sides were each flanked by guard towers. The commanding officer was positioned in the middle of the camp, giving him a clear view of the troops and the main gate.
At least nobody's giving me a shady right now. So I look actually in place here. Thorough plan.
Along with sleeping barracks for the soldiers, the fort also had a granary that was expected to hold rations for a year or longer. To ensure the health of the soldiers, every camp was equipped with medical staff and a hospital.
Okay.
A clean water supply with conduits for a bathhouse and latrines was included in the construction of every fort.
And that's the Roman forts tour completed. One more and it will be done with the Romans. But I guarantee we're still going to hear them getting mentioned. Oh. We're miles away. Crucifixion. The most severe form of Roman capital punishment. In Cleopatra's time, history and mythology blended together. One could view Orpheus' lyre, or see the egg which supposedly hatched Helen of Troy in Sparta. If we ever play Odyssey, we will be getting plenty of Sparta kicks. Pyramid building spree took place during the Old Kingdom, a period that lasted from 2686 BCE to 2181 BCE. I think 500 years, wasn't it? Crucifixion.
Welcome to Crucifixion.
Roman capital
In
punishment.
terms of the severity of Roman justice, crucifixion was at the top of the list of corporal punishment, followed by death by fire and decapitation.
Yikes.
The upper class considered crucifixion unworthy of their position. Those lucky enough to have Roman citizenship were also exempt from such treatment.
What the fuck? A popular entertainment.
Easily accessible, crucifixions were popular entertainment among the citizenry. Unlike throwing victims to wild animals, which required an arena, crucifixions did not require any particular setting.
No, you just stick them up wherever you want. Decimation by John Beaver, Roman military punishment. Holy crap. That is brutal. Just leave them hanging like a sack of meat to get ripped apart by lions. The condemned.
Those subjected to crucifixion were almost always slaves, traitors, and lower-class citizens. Roman deserters were crucified, because the betrayal of the soldiers was perceived as endangering the lives of Roman citizens.
And the martyrdom of Saint Andrew from the Renaissance. Again, needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few here. And besides, you're kind of getting punished no matter what time and place you are, because if you desert, you
In
get killed.
71 BCE, a major slave uprising in Italia was repressed by the Roman army. This resulted in the crucifixion of 6,000 men, including their
Yikes.
leader, a slave and former gladiator known as Spartacus.
Spartacus? I am Spartacus. So you crucified Spartacus. And that should be all the... Yep, that's all the Romans won. Right, we'll do a couple of Egypt ones next, but first I need to go to the toilet. Back in a minute. Right, I'm back. What have we got? Deserts of Egypt, number of station 3 in the Black Desert. Learn about deserts which cover 94% of Egypt. It's a quick one, might as well. Mud was the preferred building material as it easily baked in the sun and hardened into bricks. It was often mixed with straw as a fortification. I never understood how just mixing mud with straw makes it stronger. I have no idea. Right, so now we're in the middle of fuck nowhere.
Welcome to Deserts of Egypt.
Thank you. Western and Eastern deserts.
Reaching out on either side of the lush Nile are the harsh, arid Western Desert and the mountainous Eastern Desert. They cover nearly 94% of Egypt. Each of these parent deserts have their own microclimate and contain several smaller deserts with a distinctive fauna and flora. Whale fossils were discovered within the depths of the Sahara. Known as the Valley of the Whales, this location is evidence of the seas which once covered the area.
Yeah, because after like the supercontinent of Pangaea broke up during, was it just after the Triassic period? Or was it just before that? They obviously it would have been filled with an ocean, and after the dinosaurs and all that went extinct, the world was probably overrun by oceans for a while because of the climate. So after that, it would have, when that ocean would have eventually died down, that would have been what made the deserts we see. And this is Wadi al-Hatitan, the Valley of Whales. I guarantee you that that whale was probably carnivorous. White Desert.
The White Desert in the northeast of the Sahara owes its name to its white limestone soil, contrasting with the yellow sand. The wind has eroded the rocks of the White Desert into stone mushrooms, the most famous of which is referred to as the Finger of God.
Jesus Christ, how long do you expect me to run? It's probably sweating up a fucking storm here. Oceans of sand.
The Great Sand Sea is a large unbroken desert that reaches out through western Egypt and eastern Libya. It is home to a unique geological formation known as Libyan silica glass. The pale yellowish-green material ranges from pebble-sized fragments to glass rocks the size of rough boulders.
Jesus. Right, tour completed. Deserts of Egypt. The Qatar Depression. Learn about the Qatar Depression in northwestern Egypt. Should take 2 minutes. Fair enough. See, the smaller the tour, the more we can do in one episode. Alexander's tomb. The tomb was never found and we are still looking for it today. Speculations as to where it was located exactly have been made from maps of ancient Alexandria. Is Alexandria still around?
Welcome to the Qatar Depression. The Qatar Depression is located in the northwest part of Egypt. Reaching 18,000 square kilometers, the basin is 133 meters below sea level and
Alexandria's still around.
It is the second lowest point in Africa, after the Afar Depression.
And that's a dust storm in Egypt in 2006. Taken from NASA. Inhospitable environment.
The climate is very arid, with average temperatures reaching 36 degrees Celsius. The famous Siwa Oasis is located on the protected southwestern region. Today, the Qatar Depression is utilized for oil exploration.
Well, that was easy. That was basically a hop, skip, and jump. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. What's this? Osiris, the first mummy. Right, major regions. Learn about the major regions of Egypt. Well, we need to know a bit about that if we were going to explore some 40 million year old fossil of a whale skeleton has been found in the Egyptian desert. Well, based on the Valley of Whales, I'm going to say true. Millennial versary. Alexandria was the capital of Egypt for almost 1,000 years. Yikes, that's a long time to be a capital of a city, of a country. That doesn't belong here. Ptolemy the First hijacked the body of Alexander the Great while en route to another burial site and initially buried him in Memphis before burying him in Alexandria. It's like, he couldn't decide where to put the fucking body. Put it here, no, put it there. It doesn't go there, it goes there. Just put it back where you found it. The major regions of Egypt.
Welcome to the major regions of Egypt.
This requires a boat. Lower and Upper Egypt.
Life in ancient Egypt was concentrated along the shores of the Nile and divided into two regions. Lower Egypt was situated on the Nile Delta near the Mediterranean, and Upper Egypt was at the south reaching into Africa. Due to its proximity to the Mediterranean, temperatures in Lower Egypt were less extreme than in Upper Egypt.
That was just a picture of the Nile. Two pharaohs and crowns.
Until 3100 BCE and the unification of Egypt, each region had its own pharaoh and crown. Lower Egypt's crown was red and marked with symbols of papyrus and bees. Upper Egypt's crown was white, with symbols of lotus and sedge grass.
Okay. Memphis and Thebes.
Both regions had competing major cities, most notably Memphis in Lower Egypt and Thebes in Upper Egypt. There were different religious cults in both regions,
Temple de Ptah.
each worshipping their own major gods.
Oh, did I pass my... Fucking missed my turn. Again. Representation in temples.
Many of the temples were designed in such a way as to represent the two regions, and ceremonies often incorporated Upper and Lower Egypt in their rituals.
That's a perfume burner with a unified Egyptian knot. Composite withstand. Maybe there's a tour up here. Then again, if I'm right, that's probably one that we've already done. Yep, I knew it. Temples and priests. I'll tell you what, guys, that's actually where I'm going to end that one there. But yeah, short one today, but there's only so much you can really do. Ascension to the throne was a bloody venture during the rule of the Ptolemies and was often achieved by poison, assassinations, and outright murder. Jesus! I may come back in a bit and try this again later tonight, but I wouldn't hold out hope for that. So if I don't do a second episode tonight, this will be the last you see of me for tonight. But yeah, that's a wee bit more we've learnt about ancient Egypt, and a couple more. How many have we done? 3, 8, 9, 13, 18. 18 tours so far. That wasn't too bad. Was that 8 tours, really? Jesus, time flies. But yeah. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Stay safe, keep on gaming, like, favourite, and subscribe if you enjoyed this and if you want to see more. And for me and my Roman soldier here, looking to see what Oasis again. Catch you in the next one. Bye! Oh, this is gonna hurt.